Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Carpo here. And, a neighbor came by a while back. I was thinking about people who, uh, a lot of folks say that people are generally asleep or not aware of what's going on in the world. And, that it appears when you talk to most neighbors and individuals, that seems to be the case. But the truth is, the more people I talk to, the more I find that people are very aware of what's going on. Well, interesting thing that happened to me the other day was actually right after the 4th of July. This guy was coming. He was walking. He came to a garage sale I had. That's right, and he was about my age, and we got to talking about the world, whatnot, and he said he was moving his family out of town. That they were going to get off the grid because the shit's hitting the fan, and he said, I had two drones buzz my head on the 4th of July, and that they're already out, and he was like in this paranoid state. And I was like, okay, brushed it off. I don't talk to a lot of neighbors. And this old guy was walking by today. He walks by every day. I mean, he goes on these walks. He's in his 70s, old guy. And he's got, he's kind of hunched over and pretty mellow. And he walked up to me while I was working in my shop and he asked me, hey, what happened to Don? Have you seen Don? And Don's my neighbor across the street. And I had to break the bad news to him. I was like, he killed himself. We don't know why. We don't know what the situation was. And at first he was kind of in shock, and then we got to talking about, I said that maybe it had to do with retirement. Maybe, because retirement tends to get to people. And I guess that's how the conversation, somehow he turned it into something about Social Security after you retire. And next thing I know, he's talking about Obama and how Obama's the worst president we've ever had, and he can't wait to vote him out of office, and what Obamacare has done. Uh, and he told me, oh, it's this thick, and there's like 16 pages of stuff in there that shouldn't be there. And I said, well, I don't go along with people just because, just to make the conversation smooth. I said, well, I have to disagree. I said, I don't think Obama's the worst president. Everybody said the same thing about Bush, and he signed in plenty of things into office that caused plenty of environmental problems. Everybody has their shortcomings. The problem is that all of our leaders inherit our problems that we've all created. And, blaming Obama is not going to do any good. But anyway, we started, talking a little bit about that. I was kind of trying to get off the subject. And then he starts talking about how the healthcare plan, the ultimate goal of Obamacare, is to get a chip implanted in each person. At this point, I was kind of like, oh God, here we go again. In this conversation where I know where he's coming from, and I've heard the same stories, but I'm not buying it. And he said it's the mark of the beast. He said it used to be 666. We thought it was a number, but it's a chip. And I said, I used to believe that, but I don't anymore. And he says, well, they're gonna, it might be voluntary, but they're gonna do it. They're gonna chip us all. And I said, the economy's gonna collapse long before that, because he started talking about cash and how he's like, they just print money and they're taking money out of Katrina for Obamacare, and they have all this extra money, but they're trying to strip us bare and take our rights and blah blah blah. And this is coming from this old ass guy that I'm like, either he's hearing too much from his grandkids. I don't think he'd probably be on the internet too much. Maybe he's listening to Fox News too much. I don't know the story, but it really made me realize that I forget that there's a lot of people out there who believe that they're aware and that this is awareness, and this is to an extent, but it's not. It's not going to solve any problems. This whole speculation about the number of the beast and the computer, the chips. This is nothing new. All these stories go back to 60s and 70s, and people talk about MK Ultra and all the different projects the government had, the military had. All these things are great. You can expose everything all you want, but the reality is, whatever plans people may have had, the future is constantly ever changing, and so we're ultimately in charge of the end result. We can't blame people in charge for everything. Like I was listening to George Carlin earlier, and I mean, a man after my own heart. He was talking about how, he said maybe it's not the leaders who are fucked up. Maybe it's us. Maybe we are the cause of the problems because we raise these people, we put them through our schools, we give them our value systems. They get put into office and they answer to our needs. And we want more and more shit, more and more shit. And we want cheaper shit. We complain when we go to war in another country, but then we complain when our gas prices are too high. And if that war is to keep oil prices low, who knows? That's not the point. I'm just saying that we're always opposed to something. And as a whole, I see way too much opposition and not enough coming together. The ultimate weapon of against the people is division. And keeping us divided is a goal of some of those in charge. But it's ultimately us that are keeping ourselves divided. See, once again, it's saying that they are keeping us divided. They're keeping us divided. Think about it. We're dividing ourselves. And we're just using it as the excuse of saying that it's them and their misinformation. Well, seek out the information. Find common ground. This is what the whole thing's about. This is what knowledge is about. Philosophy, learning, intelligence in any form has to do with discussing the issues rationally and understanding what's really going on, but not panicking about the what-ifs, not worrying about computer chip implants or, when the apocalypse is coming. Because we have to take action now, people. Do something about it, however small. So, have a great day. Namaste.